Standings are insanely close. Nightly games, insanely close. This is probably like the most competitive the NHL has been to start a season ever.
There isn't a bad team in the East this season, and there are so few bad teams in the league this season. Everyone is off, especially in the Eastern Conference, to a good start, and it's breaking my brain. Sean, do you want to throw up the standings from last November 3rd to this November 3rd? It's going to blow your mind. I'm using 3rd instead of the 4th because if we did the 4th, it would be the games that were played on the 4th last year when no games have been played yet on November 4th. So from last year to this year, every team in the East this season is 500 or better. Last season, 5 teams were under 500. 3 teams were under 400. The Sabres, the Canadiens, and the Flyers were all 375 by points percentage. As I said, this year, every team in the Eastern Conference is 500 or better. The worst team in the Eastern Conference this season by points percentage, that'd be the Bruins at 500. The worst team in the Eastern Conference last year, 3 teams with 375. Worst goal differential this season, -3. That's the Senators, the Bruins, and the Panthers. Worst goal differential last year, or I'll put it this way, 7 teams had goal differentials worse than -3 last year. Sabres and Red Wings, -6. Bruins, -8. Islanders, -9. Penguins, -12. Flyers, -13. And the Canadiens, -17. Look on the right if you're watching on YouTube, and look on the left, and tell me, tell me which one of these standings appears to make more sense and seems more normal for an NHL season. It's last year by a mile.
Definitely.
There's good teams, there's okay teams, there's bad teams, and there's terrible teams.
Right.
This year, there's just a bunch of good teams.
Well, I don't know if I would classify it as that. I would say there's a bunch of like
good to okay teams.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like this is definitely an outlier year in terms of parity. And like Rogue Wave Creative in the chat saying like the NHL has kind of mastered parity at this point. And looking at it right now, I feel like that is definitely true. And it goes even beyond just like standings basis to this day, because on a game-to-game basis, the parity has been there too. Like I was talking to Jazz this morning, Chris Jastrzemski, our stat guy Jazz. There have been more close games through this point in the season than any season in NHL history. 80.7% of games have been close games, which either means a 1-goal margin or 2 with at least 1 empty net goal. 80.7 of 202 NHL games to this point in the season have been decided by 1 goal or an empty net goal.
That's crazy.
Crazy. The previous highest percentage was 74.3, and that was like 4 years ago. So, like, standings are insanely close. Nightly games, insanely close. This is probably like the most competitive the NHL has been to start a season ever.
Someone in the chat says Montreal Canadiens' reward for going 9-3-0 is that every single team is above 500. The Canadiens have made a monster jump from where they were last year, probably the biggest in the league. I think they had 9 points through 12 games last season. Yeah, they had 9 points through 12 games last season. Have 18 points through 12 games this season, going from 375 to a conference best 750, which is tied with the Jets for the best point percentage in the NHL.
Well, here's my theory about that, and it ties to the Canadiens. The standings are so close, and the goal differential is so close because the Canadiens are giving every fucking team a loser point every time they play.
Oh, fair.
And they're only winning 1-goal games.
Yeah, that's true. So if you say like the Canadiens' reward for going 9-3-0, they could be going 9-3-0 without giving. That's a great point. Without giving every team they play a point.
Correct.
Granted, they shouldn't have any points in a lot of these games, but they're still finding a way to do it. Canadiens, let me see.
That might be like the easiest explainer, because last year the Canadiens were dead last place in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
They had a -17 goal differential. Now they're in first place with a very nice goal differential, but not massive.
No, yeah,
they're just handing out candy on Halloween.
Damn. Yeah, Canadiens still kind of break my brain because I don't think they're as good as their record indicates, but I don't think they were as bad as they looked early on last season.
Correct. Yeah, they're somewhere in the middle.
I think they're a team that for the next couple of years is going to keep like evening out once it gets to the playoffs, which I don't know, like maybe they make a deep run this season, maybe they don't, but damn, like where's the bad team in the Eastern Conference though? Like the Islanders had the first overall pick, but they won the first overall pick. They didn't get it from being the worst team in the league last year. The Flyers, like I think we expect them to probably not be a 500 team, but I don't know, is like which of these teams? Sabres 542. Senators are supposed to be right around there. The big one that you would think will probably fall off is the Penguins, but are they going to fall to the like 3-something clip we expected them to be at? Probably not.
Well, I think that like there's probably over time these bad teams are going to be like, it's going to be exposed and they're going to fall further in the standings. But like right now, even the quote unquote bad teams that you expect to fall at some point are still fun and entertaining and interesting to watch. And like that to me is more important than anything.
Okay, someone in the chat says, okay, now do the Western Conference. We're not. That's what, like, my argument is mostly about how insanely tight the East is. The Western Conference looks normal. There's good teams, there's bad teams, but even the bad teams, the Western Conference right now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams under 500. One of them's the Wild, though. Wild are going to be better than 500.
Yeah.
And maybe like the Blackhawks are 500. Maybe the Blackhawks come back down to earth. It's mean to say a team that's 500 is going to come back to earth, but like the Western Conference is behaving normally. It's the East that's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at it right now, the alternate standings. Like you say, they did a 3-2-1 points structure for the Eastern Conference. It would still only be a 10-point difference between the very top of the conference and the very bottom of the conference.
Man.
That's so like the parity is still there even with a 3-2-1 point structure.
Do we like that? Do we like that there aren't really any teams that we can just kind of give up on a month into the season?
Yeah, I do like that. The opposite of that though is like I don't like that we're kind of missing a powerhouse. Like I don't like that there isn't a team that everybody else is chasing, but I do like that every team is kind of worth watching at this point.
See, I assume there is a powerhouse and that it's Vegas, but
not via the standings.
I mean, like they're not like ahead by a minute, but I mean, last year we weren't saying that everyone was chasing the Jets or the Wild.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And like President's Trophy, curse, et cetera, et cetera. I think we were still talking about the same teams. We were talking about Dallas. We were talking about Edmonton. We weren't really talking about Colorado, but that was stupid on our part. I think I was, but like I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, weird start, bad goalies," and you're like, who's going to be there in the end? I think we still have that in the Western Conference, where we know Colorado, Dallas, Edmonton, Vegas are going to be there, and I think that Vegas right now is the scariest of them.
Yeah, so I'll say I think that when you watch the games, I would say I agree with you that Vegas is the team that I've been at their best the most impressed by, but I don't know how big that gap is between Vegas and like the next team. And I feel like in years past, there has been a clear team. Maybe it's later on in the season when I'm asked this question, like who's the best team in the league right now? Who's impressing you the most? I would say it's Vegas right now, but I would say that margin is smaller than usual in years past.
Yeah, who do you think's the best team in the Eastern Conference?
I mean, like at a lot of points, it's been New Jersey.
Right, I think it's
Carolina.
New Jersey or Carolina.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, this league, man. I'm in favor of not having a lot of teams that we can just completely write off, and I think that obviously things don't look good for the Blues when they're not playing the Oilers. Things don't look good for the Flames, but I don't think the Flames are going to be this horrible. I've watched more Flames games though than I think we're supposed to. I don't find them completely unwatchable. Maybe it's because they play games against more entertaining teams.
I think that I think that I've watched more Flames games to figure out if they are actually unwatchable based off of kind of what you're seeing numbers on a page. And I feel like that has been confirmed. That team is pretty unwatchable. It has been not a good experience watching that team. They can't fucking score, and it's sad.
God, it sucks that a team that bad looks that good. Like
like uniforms?
the uniforms can't be that shitty with those uniforms. Same with the Blues. The two, like arguably the two best like bright uniforms in the league. Dog shit.
Yeah, no, have you actually enjoyed your Calgary Flames watching experience?
No, I've just watched a lot of their games, though.
Yes, I mean, same. We watch a lot of hockey. It's watchable is like the determination of watchability.
Explain.
Like anybody can watch a team.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that they're
I'm saying
watchable.
like I haven't had a horrible time. Like I haven't been like get this team off my screen, which I haven't said that really about any team.
No, I feel like
the Blues.
Calgary is kind of like get this team off my screen.
Or would you suggest the Blues are a little too? I don't know if high event's the right way to put it, but giving up goals on your first two shots faced. Like,
yeah, like Binnington's on the ice. I'm watching that.
They're high event.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So this is as universally watchable and obviously universally balanced a season there's been so far. But we're a month into the season, and that can change.
But even in the Western Conference, the bad teams, like the teams that you expect to be awful, San Jose, Chicago, those teams are way more fun and way more entertaining because of what they're getting from young players. So like that's a big part of like bridging that gap too.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.